Musicians debating whether to make a career of their muse, David Wright can pinpoint the moment he made up his mind. It was when he was staring down the barrel of a sawn-off shotgun after disappointing a gang leader.
He frankly admits that a life of villainy in his native East End could easily have claimed him. Instead, David has made a profession out of playing the harpsichord. And this evening he performs at St Martin in the Fields, just off Trafalgar Square. And our showbiz correspondent Tamsin Sylvester has been speaking to this Right from Wrong.
Bow in Bethnal Green, not exactly where you expect a classical harpsichordist to hail from, but it's where David Wright was born.
This is where I grew up, the house just behind me here on the Lanfranc estate in Bow.
And things got pretty tough for you, didn't they, especially when your dad died?
Yeah, I mean, in the early days, in the sort of early 80s, things were tough generally on this estate. The kids had to be quite sort of tough and look after themselves and sort of fight trouble off when it came their way.
And trouble did come your way?
Oh yes, yes. I mean, trouble came everybody's way around here. My dad's side of the family, he grew up in Old Bethnal Green Road, which butts onto Valence Road, where the Cray brothers lived. And one of his sisters married their cousin, and he knew them well.
Do you think that's partly why you and kids in general get sucked into crime, because it's kind of steeped in their history?
I think it's an important part. It does glamorise crime, and there is a sort of pressure on youngsters, specifically from around here, to sort of produce the stereotype sort of gentleman gangster East Ender, but that world doesn't really exist anymore. It's a different ballgame now altogether with gang world.
David was firmly on the wrong side of the law until one day that changed things around.
And this is, in fact, the very spot where my life changed. It's up against these railings here.
Well, tell me what happened.
Well, basically, I was looking down the business end of a sawn-off shotgun, having got heavily involved in this teenage gang. And I sort of groveled my way out of it, but at that point, it was a turning point. I kind of thought to myself, do I really want to be doing this?
So after this realisation that you needed to change your life, how did you go about pulling yourself out of the gang, pulling yourself out of that way of life?
Well, again, the contact with the church was a great help, because that was a little world which was, the music in the church was a little world which was kind of separate from the nefarious underworld of the East End. In many ways, I've lived a sort of double life. I mean, I've compartmentalised, and I've still got lots of friends in the East End. And it came to a head when I got married here in St John on Bethnal Green. We had sort of Oxford organ scholars and singers on one side, and then on the other side were sort of a whole row of sort of East End hard men.
From the mean streets of the East End where the Cray brothers played, to here, St Martin in the Fields in Trafalgar Square where the young Mozart and the young Handel played. Yes, this is quite a transformation.
Tonight, David's giving a recital of Bach's Goldberg variations at St Martin in the Fields. Not bad for a boy who taught himself how to play. Tamsin Sylvester, London Tonight.